realize all that. But now the entire underworld has but one objective: to erase the shadow.
All greatness, the majority of greatness in itself doesn't come with goodness. The two don't coexist with one another. And all great men are not good men.
Just your power.
one of the dopest engineers in the game. The head engineer exclusively for Prodigy of Mobb Deep. 10 Prodigy of Mobb Deep albums. The Hegelian Dialectic. The Book of Revelation.
It's a pleasure, man. That body of work is crazy. I mean,
Joe the engineer. Now we do this shit, nigga.
333. That's a sign from the heavens. Just look up in the heavens.
Yo, what the fuck is up, man? What is up? There we go. What is up? Yeah, man, week 45 in the books, Flea. It's a long-ass season. I'll be high. I've been fucking with Cushwick Farms for the last couple of days, and I'm stupid high. As we wait for our esteemed co-host Carrie to show up, I'm going to play the roll-up song because why the fuck not? I can do what I want.
Sign from the heavens. 333 from the heavens. 33 sign from the heavens. 333 sign from the heavens. 333 from the heavens.
Look up, look up, look up.
That's a sign from the heavens.
Look up, look up, look up.
I'm out in space high.
Look up, look up, look up.
I'm out in space high.
Look up, look up, look up.
I'm out in space high.
Look up, look up, look up.
I'm out in space high. Man, I'm going in the motherfucker. That's a sign from the heavens.
Yeah, man. So, some interesting things to talk about. I've been waiting to talk to Carrie. I don't know why Nice ain't popping up with the Jets getting victories like this. Roger Harper's doing Roger Harper things. But I've been waiting to talk to Carrie about some things because there was some real stupid decisions being made. There was some horrible, absolutely atrocious refereeing going on that changed the outcome of games, which nobody likes when the Zebras do that shit. There was some dope football and there was some terrible football. There is some injuries that are going to shape not only the rest of the season, but everybody's fantasy teams. I know my fantasy roster is half of it is literally injured right now or on a bye, so it's going to be a rough week. But who fucking cares? Yeah, absolutely insane football season this year. It doesn't make any sense. There are some things that are starting to make sense. There are teams that are proven that they are an elite football team. The Eagles, the Bills. There are teams that are gaining their footing, like the Niners. And there are absolute surprise teams like the Seahawks, the Giants, the Cowboys being 4-1 with Cooper Rush as the starting quarterback. None of this makes any sense. None of this shit makes sense.
Yo.
None of it makes sense.
Yeah, well, you know.
None of this shit makes sense, man. I've been waiting for this because there's some dumbass shit going on in the NFL. Both on the sidelines and in the zebra shirts.
Yeah, some things should be left under the blue tent, I would say.
Yeah. There's some wild shit going on this week.
But in other news, we got an unprecedented number of free agents wanting to sign with the Giants. People breaking contracts and shit. It's amazing.
Well, Daboll, everybody knows he's that dude.
Yeah, he is.
He's been that dude since college days. Everywhere he's been successful, winning titles and things of that nature.
Playing Notorious B.I.G. Love it.
Didn't win a title in Buffalo, but if he would have stayed, they would have won a title eventually. But you saw what he did to you saw what he did to them and turning them around. I mean, Danny Dumbles is no Josh Allen, but if you utilize what Danny Dumbles is capable of, which is running and getting outside of the pocket, it can work out.
And he's not doing what he has historically been doing for his entire career, which is turn the rock over. He's got a couple of turnovers, but like
everybody's got a couple. Even Aaron Rodgers has thrown a couple picks this year.
Not the ones he's had in the past, just dumb. So no, he's actually putting together a decent season for him.
It helps to have, Saquon healthy.
Oh,
takes all the pressure off of him to do anything.
With think about it. What tight end?
What receivers?
I don't even know who our tight end is. I know we're back to Slayton again, who fell out of favor. And we have really no receivers.
Sills?
My man Sills. I like my man Sills.
I mean, but yeah, they're it's
Breida.
Well, I mean, we've seen it before. If you have a solid defense, scoring wise, it doesn't matter how many yards you give up, really. It's all about how many points are you really giving up. But so if you have a solid defense and then the league's best running back, you can make it to the playoffs.
And we pretty much do have a no-name defense. I think the most well-known cat on our defense is Leonard Williams.
I think the most well-known cat was Blake Martinez, and he's not there no more. So it's just like
Blake Martinez. But Xavier McKinney's making a name for himself, which I had a feeling he was going to really start putting it together this year. We just got a young squad. I mean, Tay Crowder is doing his thing, and be honest with you, so's the rookie Kayvon Thibodeau. He's not getting splashy stats, but his play.
He looks like it looks like Clowney, because Clowney doesn't have a lot of huge numbers, but he's excellent against the run, and he basically forces you to go elsewhere. He's so dominant.
His hands up. I mean, that rock hit him in the face. He's getting hands up. He's doing all the things.
Yeah, you got to trust in Daboll. Easily Coach of the Year. I texted you. By a mile, Coach of the Year. Like, by leaps and bounds. It's not even close.
No.
If Belichick can slap together a playoff run with Zappy, then, it's the hoodie. But, hey, I told you, in preseason, I like Zappy.
Zappy hour.
It's Zappy hour. Hey, he's extremely calm.
Yeah.
That works.
When I saw that, that's why I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't pick them, because I saw his poise, and I had to know better. And, the Lions are.
Well, I also assumed that with Swift out and St. Brown basically limping around, and I think they had another receiver out, that
yes, they did.
The hoodie was just going to take away Hawkinson, but I didn't have any other options. My whole bench was hurt in my fantasy league. I got destroyed. I'm glad it happened early, because last year, this game didn't happen until the first round of the playoffs for me.
Oh, rest. So.
Yeah.
But it's happening. I got a lot of injured cats.
Yeah, I caught one, but I knew the hoodie was going to take away Hawkinson.
Mm-hmm.
And then where else? What else are they going to do?
And you also got to know, like, with our squads, as much as we've been saying that they suck since the beginning of the year, you got to pick a game. Eventually, we're going to get to weeks where it's like, I got to pick my team.
Well, I knew this one was happening. I knew it.
See,
it was written all over. I'm like, this is a classic hoodie game.
And that's how I felt about the Giants. I said, watch them go over to London and win that game. Watch them figure out a way to win. Because when we go over there, we've had great success.
Aaron Rodgers over there fucking hanging and drinking absinthe and tea and shit with like European superstars and shit. He said he wanted to stay longer.
Of course he did. And play Dungeons and Dragons.
Of course. Yes. So we'll get to the minute details of that game. But I knew the hoodie was going to pull this one off. I knew that they were like, all right, we got Zappy. And I'm telling you, if you're calm in the NFL, you will succeed. As long as now the next
Chad Pennington.
Next stage is just make the right decision.
Chad Pennington.
But if you're calm, you don't get happy feet, you're not all nervous and abandoning your reads and just bailing out. And I saw it, I was just like, I like this kid. So I knew that they were just going to start running the ball. We won games where we threw the ball once.
But also lost
Harris for a couple weeks. But Stevenson has become the feature back anyway the last few weeks.
I know that's dope if you have him. But if you have Harris in multiple leagues, not so dope.
Yeah,
not as dope for you.
So if I can pick up Walker off of the waiver wire, which I've already put in, we'll see Wednesday morning if I get those.
See.
I am the GM. I might be able to change some waiver wire priority status.
All right, come on. Donahue.
But last year, after losing 5 straight with Henry getting hurt, I picked up Petty, and Petty ran me into the playoffs. I won the last 8 in a row to end up in the playoffs. So I knew the hoodie was going to get that one. I actually thought that I switched the Dallas one. I don't think I hit save. I switched that one because I'm on the Cooper Rush trade.
Oh yeah, no, you stayed with Rams. I had a feeling Dallas was gonna go.
No, also I believe in Micah Parsons so much that he can change the outcome of a game by himself, and he has been.
He got busy.
And the Rams are pretty beat up. Mm-hmm. They don't really have anybody but Cooper Kupp. They don't have a running game.
No, they have Allen Lazard, but
Allen Robinson.
For some reason, Allen Robinson. But for some reason, Stafford just don't fuck with him
at all.
That's not his man's at all.
Higbee's not been really big. I text you. I was like, tight ends don't exist right now in the NFL. It's really weird. And so the 2 tight ends who are balling, both of them do not have routes.
No, they make it up. They find the soft spots.
They said it during the Ravens game that Andrews is free to just create because that's kind of what Lamar does anyway.
Yeah.
And then Kelsey and Patrick have been doing this so well and so effectively since day one with Patrick Mahomes that Kelsey doesn't even have to run routes anymore. Just get open.
Honestly, that's what it's like between Jackson and Andrews. Like they both sound like presidents. They clicked from day one, and so when they do miss a connection, it's very rare. When they do, it's a surprise.
So it's if you think about it, the freedom to create as a pass catcher only happens to the best tight ends who have ever existed. Gronk had the freedom to just find a spot. These two, you can't do it.
What Kelsey did in the playoffs against the Bills, and the critical play to get them in field goal position.
He said
tie it to send it to overtime. He said, "I see some," and he's just like, "All right, Kels, do it." He just did it. I mean,
so you can't really get the freedom to create from a wide receiver.
Right.
They're too far out. The things that they have to do are more specific. because it's route combinations outside and things like that, and people have to clear out for you and things like that.
Right. It's only a rare situation where you'll have but they'll normally read that at the line.
Well, like, Devontae and Aaron for years.
Right.
Whenever they needed a back shoulder, you know.
You get up to the line, you recognize, and then you just give a head nod because you already got something in your head.
Yeah, 100%. I had it in high school. Anytime that I saw coverage and I just one on top of the head, I was just going to make it up. Just throw it to me. Take a five-step drop. By that time, you'll have figured out which one it is. And then just find me. So, real interesting thing. So, this is what I wanted to verbally speak to you about instead of texting diatribes that we would have to do on this bullshit.
Oh, boy. I already know.
Yo, so I understand the league is trying to be so proactive about the Tua scenario, who I don't think is going to play. I told you. I think he's done for the year. That was too big of a head, and he's too small to take hits like that.
Yeah. And he holds the ball too long, and
you know, so
and he tries to like lean in.
Yeah, you know, it's not in this league, dude. So the overreaction and the emphasis on roughing the passer is fucking ridiculous, dude. Troy Aikman is actually getting in trouble for it.
Oh, so they all spanking him for it?
They're spanking him for, you know, the trans community is going off on him about this. And it's just like, yo, I hope he just says.
When he said it, listen, he said it with his chest. And
that was emotion.
Oh, straight up.
That was not a professional statement. That's why I texted you immediately. I was just like, oh.
He was at the bar with his homies like, what the fuck am I watching right now? What is this bullshit?
Yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous. And, you know, Kerry, when the NFL puts an emphasis on any of their particular things that they want to phase out of the game, like targeting, the whole, is it a catch? Is it not the completion through thing for that whole debacle, and then
through the ground,
and then they being able to challenge pass interference calls, how retarded that got for that year, and now this. So there's always one thing that they just, because there's no uniformity, there's no consistency across the board. Brady gets a normal. He even held up on him. Brady didn't get up and complain, which he always does. So you know it's a clean hit, and they threw a flag. Patrick Mahomes gets slammed and literally hip tossed into the ground. Nothing. That's a $500 million quarterback. You might want to protect that one, right?
Carr gets strip sacked from behind. Jones sticks out his left arm so he doesn't land on, and gets the fumble recovery.
So the referee said that since the ball was not in possession when he hit him by anyone, that it's a loose ball foul because he's in the act of throwing.
This ain't basketball, bitch. Ain't no loose ball fouls. That's basketball. You got the wrong damn sport.
They said it was something like the positioning with the intention to throw or some dumb shit like that.
The posture. The passing posture.
That's what he kept saying. The passing posture.
Get out of here.
So this shit's ridiculous.
And you know it's ridiculous when you have an ex-ref, and he's trying to be mad delicate with this. Like, listen, was that a terrible call or not? And he's like, well, when you look at plays, and there's so many of them, some are correct and some are incorrect. Bitch, just say it was fucked up.
Oh, that double speak shit. Shut the fuck up.
Double speak. Come on. It was incorrect. You know it.
So Shaq Lawson almost ended Kenny Pickett's fucking career, and there was no flag thrown. Kenny Pickett got up and threw hands immediately, so you know the Pittsburgh loves him. Oh,
so
we got a guy. He's throwing hands with a D lineman. Fuck that.
I'll be honest, and he put up. I mean, listen, he put up 300 plus. I mean, it didn't help the cause, but also, who do they have right now?
Yeah, they're
struggling.
Yeah, it's odd because you would think you have three who we look at football-wise, really solid receivers. Freiermuth is a top 10 tight end probably, bottom half easily.
Sure.
Naj is a great running back that's not really It's got to be the offensive line and
offensive line, so they can't establish the running game.
And
so now,
as everyone in Pittsburgh says, all the Yinzers say, that fucking offensive coordinator. They hate that guy. They hate that guy.
Well, Ian's got to let him leave.
Ian's
waiting on.
If Mike Tomlin could pull out a non-sub 500 year out of this,
that would be amazing.
Just put him in the Hall of Fame and let him keep coaching until he wants to quit. Just let him do both, because that's incredible.
He'd be co-coach of the year for sure.
There's no way it's going to happen this year. Kenny Pickett would have to absolutely get on fire like Herbert did, and they don't have the offensive line.
Like Kurt Warner.
And he's not quite Justin Herbert. Like, Herbert's different.
Yeah. What he's waiting on.
He's different. So, yeah, this whole roughing the quarterback thing, trash. I hate every second of it. It makes absolutely no sense. They've already said that they're going to address it and change it for next season. Just change it now.
I know what we got to wait for. We got to still see this shit, more of this shit.
That changed the outcome of games.
Yeah.
The Bucs were able to put the Falcons away instead of possibly allowing them to get a possession and tie, go down and score, make it a 2-possession game. Now it's out.
You never know what can happen. Especially you got a mobile quarterback like Mariota. They got momentum because now they're scoring all their points in the second half. Yeah, you never know. I'm
surprised that they didn't throw a flag on your boy when he hit Aaron Rodgers on the attempted Hail Mary, because he rocked him from behind.
Well, a lot of things was happening over in London town, my friend. So.
Yo, what's up with your kicker not coming back?
Oh, he didn't come back with us?
Yeah. Somebody's kicker, I don't know if it's yours or theirs, but somebody's kicker did not come back yet. I just read that today. I was just like, oh, that's interesting.
Maybe he got dual citizenship. You know, he's trying to see some relatives. I don't know.
Yeah, some other headlines. Odell got a decision coming up pretty soon.
Well, let's hope he makes the right one.
I don't know if he would come back to New York.
I mean, now listen, I just said the right one. I didn't specify what the right one was. I just said I just hope he makes the right one.
Boy, the Rams, boy, do they need him. Jesus.
I mean, but not just them. The Colts need him.
Yeah, but the Colts aren't going to be a playoff team. Odell gets to pick.
The Saints need him. We keep it funky. Like, they all hurt.
Everybody's hurt. Everybody's hurt right now.
And he's from there. I mean, he'd be back with his boy again. That would be an ill situation. And you know Jameis is going to get him the rock.
I think Odell needs to get Revis on the phone and be like, yo, how did you really navigate the end of your career where you just got $30 million a year and just kept winning rings?
That would be amazing.
How did you do that?
There's not, honestly, you think about it, there's not too many teams that don't need him. I can go into any situation right now because there's a lot of players that are just hurt. A lot of receivers are down this year.
I really don't think there's a single team that wouldn't have a spot. Honestly,
Green Bay would certainly. Aaron would get 15 targets a game with Aaron Rodgers easily. It'd be like he's playing with Eli again.
I mean, the Bills don't really, but he could be the third, and that's like retarded. 1, 2, 3, because Dawson Knox is out now, injured, and he wasn't doing shit anyway.
So it'll be Diggs, Davis, and Beckham.
Yeah, that's not
DDB.
Yeah, that's not fair. That wouldn't be fair.
Boys, man, ABC, DDB. Nah, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be crazy.
Oh, Ron Rivera. Did you see this little interview? For those of you who did not see what Ron Rivera said about his own starting quarterback, who he brought to the Commanders, they asked him, what's the difference between what's going on with his team and the rest of the NFC East, who seems to be performing pretty well at this moment. And he said, quarterback. And it was just like, damn, dude. You got to give it up to that reporter, though, because he followed it up and said, well, you brought him here. Do you regret that? And he was just like, no, I don't. But there's been some moments where he has played pretty well. He's like, but there's been some really poor games.
And then he apologized. He tried to walk it back, and he was like, well, you know, in the division, like how it stands now and how you have to be now as a quarterback. Like he tried to say a whole lot of triple speak. Listen, Ron, you said what you said, and you meant it. And that's it. I mean, let's keep it funky. It's true. He's putting up numbers, but they're garbage numbers. The numbers that don't matter. But his turnovers have mattered. And that's the difference between the other three teams in the East that are leading. The Cowboys haven't been turning the ball over with Cooper Rush. Haven't been doing it. Philly hasn't really been turning the ball over, except, I mean, that Jacksonville game, but they still won.
They also
turn the ball over.
The Eagles also create more turnovers than they give up by far anyway, so it doesn't really matter with them.
Whereas Washington been turning that thing over. Terrible.
And like you said, with Carson, those turnovers, they really, really mean something. They're in the worst position. Red zone turnovers, coming away with no points. You know, instant possession turnovers, which I think are the worst things ever. You just got the ball, and then all of a sudden you throw a pick on like the second play of a drive and give the ball right back to them.
You have an opportunity to win the game. What do? You throw a game-ending interception. My man goes the other way. Game done.
So the other quarterback who has a tendency to do things in the absolute worst time is Geno.
Mm-hmm.
Who is playing well, but in their losses, there has all been that critical moment where Geno either throws a pick to lose the game or he fumbles it. And it's just...
Which is what he did at West Virginia.
That's what he's done everywhere.
Exactly what he did at West Virginia.
He did it.
And the Jets, too.
Did it for the Jets. That's who he is. I've watched it for 4 years.
I blame him less for the Jets because he went also through like 5 different
Yeah, of course. But he's also had a history of this. He started for 4 years at WVU, and he did this all 4 years. I watched him in person lose 2 bowl games by...
Why didn't Rich Rod correct it? Why happened?
I mean, he was like...
He's the coach. You got to correct it.
He's putting up outrageous numbers and getting W's.
Yeah, I know. So he got lazy.
But it's just in the losses, though. I watched him in the Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium throw 5 picks before I left.
The Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, that's dedication, Holmes.
Against Syracuse, Ryan Nassib destroyed him that game.
Oh, Ryan Nassib, former Giant.
So, yeah, I saw Geno, but they've been playing well. They've been playing well because Geno will chuck it up to DK, and he's discovered Russell's ex-best friend.
Lockett.
Lockett's been getting busy lately.
And, you know.
And they do have a pretty solid run game.
The running game has come alive. Walker.
So this happened last year when Chris Carson got hurt, who was playing well, and then he gets hurt, and then all of a sudden they look, oh, we got Penny, and Penny got big. He had like 800 yards from that point on through the rest of the season. He was like the second or third leading running back in the NFL. So he gets a start. He's doing well again.
Yeah.
And now Walker gets his chance, and Walker's a stud anyway. So, you know, if you have DK, and now that they know that Tyler's getting busy, Will Dissly's also been getting busy.
I was going to say Dissly. Yeah,
Dissly's been getting busy. So, and it's Geno. He will put up numbers, and he will make incredible throws. And then, but when it matters, he is going to disappoint you in the highest manner. I will give the Commanders credit. Those uniforms this weekend were fucking awesome.
Yeah, they should just keep them.
The Arizona State look of black, red, and yellowish. That shit was dope. And plus the 2 stripes around the above and below the names on the back. I've never seen that before.
That's dope.
Look, I'm looking at it right now. Just like, it looks so good. They're just so terrible.
So they got one thing right.
Yeah, they're just terrible at football right now. All right, so, let's get into it. Colts-Broncos was the worst football game in the history of football. You watched it. I watched it. Everybody who watched it. This is literally... The Colts won 4 field goals to 3 field goals. That's what happened. There was ugly. There was nothing crisp about this game whatsoever. It was horrible.
That was bad. Yeah, that was big bad.
Just interception after interception, fumbles.
There's nothing redeemable about that game. There was nothing informative about that game except that you got two teams that are just absolute trash right now.
Yeah,
Trash.
so bad. So bad at football.
And they're both supposed to be contenders, and they're just...
I can actually see the Colts trending more towards, because Matt Ryan does have a history of like playing well later. Mm-hmm. That is who Matty Ice, when it counts, later.
So they did in Atlanta when they were already out of playoff contention. Then that's when the ice cream catches fire.
That's what I'm saying. He does have a history of doing that. Frank Wright is the captain comeback.
Well, Harbaugh was captain comeback, but yeah.
No, but Frank Wright holds the record for biggest college football comeback and biggest
University of Maryland,
biggest NFL comeback ever.
Buffalo Bills. And you know who the starting quarterbacks were for both those games?
It wasn't the same person, was it?
No, two different people.
So he was for the Bills, so it wasn't Kelly, was it? Was that the Jim Kelly run?
Jim Kelly run, and then University of Maryland. Who was that?
Oh, I would have no idea at that time period.
Boomer Esiason.
Really? I wouldn't know he went to Maryland. He's just a Bengal.
Out of Long Island. Boomer.
Yeah, so I could see the Colts actually going on a run, whereas the Broncos look dysfunctional. They've lost their starting running back for the whole year. Russ has a partially torn pec.
That's swole. Yeah.
So,
You've been doing a little bit too much riding out in Bronco country.
Yeah, they just look terrible. The Broncos look terrible.
And Melvin Gordon looks just straight wash. He is a walking fumble.
Yeah, Danny Dumbles found a way to voodoo them shits over to Melvin Gordon, man.
Yo, he's playing like Omar Epps did in the program, and he had to carry the football everywhere. Yep.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
This was bad football. There's nobody in the Colts.
The kickers were the MVP.
Yeah, there's no really buddy in the South that's running away with that division anyway. So the Colts have a shot.
Colts got a shot. They did.
Of keeping my 8-leg parlay alive. Yo, let me speak about missing out on $35K.
Wow, this hurts.
So if Miles Sanders would have actually scored, and then I would have missed out on that Mike Evans. Did he score a touchdown? Did he not score a touchdown? Catch in the corner. You probably wouldn't have heard from me for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have been that mad. Yo, it was a 15-leg anytime touchdown parlay, and I hit 13 of them. It was $1. I would have won $35,700. I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm just like, all the questionable ones all hit early.
Yeah.
And they weren't really questionable. I've been watching football all season. Pierce is going to score. It's happening. They don't have anybody else right now, and he's dope. So he's going to get touchdowns. He scored like the last 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, he's trending upward big time.
Yeah, so
that's consistent cat so far, really.
So Andrews, like there's some that are just like locks. These things, Cooper Kupp, these things are going to happen. Even if they lose these football games, they're going to happen. But I hit all of them, and I'm just sitting there.
Coopity scoop.
Yeah. And I'm watching the Eagles game, and then they keep getting to the 1-yard line, and every single time they just quarterback sneak into the end zone. I'm just like, interesting.
When you can bench press half of Texas, that's what you do. You quarterback sneak.
Yeah, they're up 14-0, and Jalen Hurts has 2 1-yard touchdown runs. I'm just like, interesting.
He's a monster.
I know, but like, give Miles Sanders a shot. Oh yeah, fuck.
Miles Sanders don't squat like Jalen Hurts.
Eckler is another one that's easy. He scored early. He's on fire right now. They actually were just like, oh yeah, we forgot we got this guy.
Killing it. I love that for him. Like, look at his story. Melvin Gordon started over him, and then Eckler was just always like, he was just like, damn, like this Eckler cat, like this backup cat, they actually like kill it every time he's in the game. Gordon phased out. Eckler, one of the best backs in the league now for the past couple of years. It's like he's having his Priest Holmes years. Like all of a sudden, Priest Holmes was like back up, and then became one of the best backs in the league for 5 years.
Well, it works within that offense too, because he can catch and run immediately, and they.
He's one of the strongest
He does one arm,
players in
like
the NFL.
actual one-armed pull-ups, not the aided.
No.
Just one arm. That's in.
He's just like one of the pound for pound, one of the strongest players in the league.
Yeah, he looks like what was the little dude that played for the Eagles forever, and then the Saints.
I thought you were gonna say Mighty Mouse. I thought you was gonna say are you talking about the returner Brian?
No, not Westbrook. He was a running back too. Little tiny. I'm high. I forgot his name.
It may come to me. Oh, Sproles?
Yeah, Sproles.
Yeah.
Sproles, very small.
Yes.
Very powerful though for being leverage.
I thought say Mighty Mouse. Derek Martin.
Yeah, Doug Martin.
Doug Martin.
Doug Martin. That motherfucker was a beast.
He's
Nobody like Maurice Jones-Drew though. He was.
Yeah, he was a monster.
Absolute stud. Yeah, that's a couple touchdowns each in the last couple weeks. So yeah, that far. I've hit a couple. The anytime touchdown parlays, dude. If you just put like 4 of them together, you put up $1, you'll win like 100 easy. And these are easy. Like 4 people to score a touchdown.
Yeah, he's got to get the
it's
right forward.
Yeah, it's it's easy.
For a buck. Okay.
It's easy. It's just like the only ones. Sometimes you'll have like the Colts and Broncos where nobody scores. The Jags, that fucked me up on another anytime touchdown because they didn't put up any points in that game.
What a disappointment that was. You're supposed to beat, if you're an ascending team, you're supposed to beat the Texans, but the Texans always find a way to beat the Jags. That's just how it goes. Just like the Jags always find a way to beat the Colts.
Pierce closed.
No matter how good the Colts are.
Yeah, Pierce closed that game out by himself at the end because he was on both of my anytime touchdown things. I'm just like, he's not going to, nobody's going to fucking score in this game. And then he did, so I'm just like, there's only 4 minutes left. James Robinson is not getting in the end zone. This is not happening. And for some reason, this is what I don't understand about the NFL. These coaches blow my fucking mind. James Robinson, 3 weeks in a row, 100-plus yards in all-purpose, got into the end zone 2 out of the 3 weeks, which he really doesn't score a lot of touchdowns, so that means he's getting busy. And then all of a sudden, instead of riding the hot hand, let's just feature Travis Etienne the entire game today.
Which actually helped me out because I had Travis Etienne playing because I had to put him in the game because I had another running back hurt. So he gave me the points I needed to win.
Understandable, but it's just like, why did you just alter what's been successful over the last couple weeks?
I mean, this is true. Obviously, it wasn't a winning formula for the Jags, but it was a winning formula for C. Thanks, baby.
And that's all that matters in the long run, I guess. Pats at Lions. Dan Campbell might be on the hot seat. They suck.
The thing is, right, I don't think they've liked a coach as much as this in Detroit since Caldwell. And you see how they fucked Caldwell.
I don't think they've liked a coach like this as much as Detroit since Wade Fonts. Yeah,
true. Because Wade Fonts had 100. Well, he had 100 lives in Detroit. He should have been fired mad times. But like Jim Caldwell was like dope. Got them to the playoffs. They got fired. That was weird. But so he might actually get another chance because, like, think about it. Their Hard Knocks is one of the most talked about Hard Knocks of all time. One of the best ones, apparently. So Detroit needs this sort of positive.
No, they're going to keep with him again. It's just
so they got to keep with him.
They have the #1 offense in the league, and then you put up a goose egg.
This is true, and then your defense has been absolute
atrocious because they let Zappy put up 29 on them.
Crazy.
When the Patriots offense. Listen, I watch it. I still watch every game. It's just sometimes I don't listen to it while I'm watching it because there's better games on. They are built like a 90s high school football team. We are going to run the ball 45 times. This quarterback's going to have like 15 attempts, like 180 yards, maybe a touchdown and a pick. And our defense is going to create.
We're going to play sound special teams.
Yeah, incredible special teams. And then the defense this week. Multiple turnovers, 1 fumble for a touchdown return, anytime your defense can score.
Matthew Judon got busy, couple sacks. He was making his presence felt.
Also, shout out to, I said it last week, but shout out to Belichick for drafting Cole Strange, who continues to be an absolute stud up front for the Patriots.
Look at that.
Because look at their run game. Plus, Stevenson that's a big dude.
Oh yeah.
That's
Remember
a big
I told
dude.
you, I was like, yo, this is running back. I don't want to say Ramondre. I was like, he's nice. He just he got suspended for a while, so people forgot about him.
That's a big dude, man.
You got a big one, yeah. He's a
He leads forward.
Also, I have to say, who's your Jacoby?
Jacoby Myers.
Myers is playing. His receiver play has gotten.
He has gotten better every single year.
So now he's really rounding into a receiver.
Yeah.
And now he's starting to figure out how he can score touchdowns. That was his big thing. So it's going to be interesting continuing to watch his growth. I mean, because it's like, honestly, he's probably the best receiver.
At this point of the roster, he is the best receiver on our roster because he has developed himself better than Kendrick Bourne, the other Aguilar, who's just a deep threat every once in a while, and then the other one, Devontae Parker, who had one nice game and then just
forever hurt.
Well, also that's when Mac got hurt, and I think that was kind of like Mac was developing rapport with him. Because he had started to feature him, and then he gets hurt, and then Hoyer gets hurt immediately, and then Zappy has to come in, which I was happy for the kid.
Happy for Zappy?
Happy for Zappy, and then also, like, Hoyer, come on, man, you're like 72.
I know.
How many backup gigs for the Pats can you possibly secure?
Listen, this guy is so well-liked. Be a backup forever. Best job in America.
Well, until you get hit by these young kids and you get knocked out immediately.
You got to get in the game. This shit gets real. Then you know.
So Zappy, you would have to question yourself, like, who's he going to have rapport with? Like, that's the third stringer.
Yeah.
Who's he been working with? They're not getting in the game.
Right.
So he's just played football. There is no, this is my guy, I'm comfortable with him. He's just making reads. And Jacoby Myers has worked himself in a receiver-led league into a top 20 receiver in the NFL status.
Sure.
I don't know if he's like a number one, but he is an incredible number two right now. He's just playing.
He's an incredible deuce.
Yeah, he's just playing the one role because New England doesn't have anybody doing that right now. So he is the feature receiver. Even the tight ends aren't doing shit. Again, more tight ends not doing nothing.
That's still so confusing.
Jonnu Smith not being utilized is so dumb.
What's happening? Like, why do you have these two guys? Like, y'all know how to run a two tight end offense. I don't know what's happening.
It's really weird. They're really using Jonnu Smith as a blocking tight end. It's like,
that's crazy. And you have a young tight end who could do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's odd, but this one was an easy pick, dude. This was like written, stamped, they're gonna have to go into New England too. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You think the hoodie's gonna get beat by Jared fucking Goff?
Jared Montana?
Yeah, not happening. All right, I'll see you in like 40 seconds. All right. Into segment 2. Now here, I have made a critical mistake again in preparation for Gray Matter because I forgot to go get fucking blunts. I've only got one more. But shout out to Cushwick for keeping me high as shit. 333 straight is dope. It's dope. I've been checking the progress. Literally. And figuratively. All right, let's see. Let's see. Adionism, what up? Kane, what up? Well, Flea, it's because, Keenan Allen can't stay healthy. And then they got Palmer and DeAndre Carter both trying to figure out who's going to be the number 3 receiver, since there's a shuffling and whatnot, and Mike Williams has to be the number 1 instead of being the number 2. Everett's a pretty solid tight end. It's really weird. The tight end is become the least utilized position in the NFL this season, unless you're Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Kyle Pitts is the absolute fucking freak, and he's just not getting the ball at all. It makes no goddamn sense. Drake London's getting the rock a lot. Why is Kyle Pitts not seeing the rock?
It's like he wasn't even drafted.
Yeah.
Very, very high in the first damn round.
And since you don't have anybody else but Drake London, you figure you want to get this guy the ball.
Oh, Zacchaeus is getting more run than
Drake London is a big fucking kid. That guy's huge.
He's like 6'4".
Yeah, he looks way bigger than that, dude. He's fucking big. He's like significantly taller than most of the defenders. And I'm just like, now I can see why he was so highly touted, because he can play.
Yeah,
he could play. But if you're that big and you could play like Mike Williams, you see what Mike Williams was doing in this game? They just literally just chuck it up and go get it. He was looking like mini Megatron, like Starscream out there. It was awesome.
I needed that. It's about time.
Yeah, I know. Well,
himself suspended.
Well, also, Keenan Allen's doing his yearly, hamstring vacation.
And Michael Williams is stepping up. He's getting a ton of targets, and he's cashing in.
Well, that's what I was saying. They
having a surprising season.
Palmer and DeAndre Carter are both trying to figure out who's going to be the other receiver that gets the action. Everett's kind of getting busy, but don't really have a second tight end that's doing anything. Right. But they do have Eckler, and this is where Eckler has opened up. And then Kelly's been getting busy, too. So they actually, we were talking about that last season. Why he wasn't, they weren't utilizing him more, because it was just Eckler all year, who ended up with like 20 touchdowns. But in certain situations, I know Eckler's strong, but on like 3rd and 2 and things like that, you kind of need somebody a little bit bigger who leans forward that can move a pile. And do we really need Justin Herbert getting involved in any of the physicality? Just keep this guy upright and safe.
6'6", 240.
Yeah, I know, but it's Josh Allen likes that shit.
No, I get it. I would rather him not. I'd rather, if he's gonna do it, get on the outside runs, not the goal line stuff.
Yeah, their offensive line sucks so much. He's going to take punishment on the goal line.
Especially you lost Darisaw for the year, or you lost Slater. No, it was Darisaw or Slater?
Slater. Nah, that's Slater, yeah, big guy, the All-Pro.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Their offensive line wasn't great anyway, and now you have that issue. And like I said, your best offensive weapon, most dependable, I need you to make a play right now, 3rd and whatever, Keenan Allen, like clockwork for years. It's 2 games in a row he's missed. And now we also know hamstring is going to bother him all fucking season. So there might be a situation, especially if they go to a cold weather town and play and it's fucking cold, where he's going to hurt himself again. So you can almost count on that shit. Giants over Packers. Dayball's dope, man. They're just playing football. They're just playing the ball that's in front of them. Whatever happens, let's just react and do what we have to do. It's very Patriot-esque, Belichickian. We're just going to figure out a way to win this shit.
They found a way to be in every game. They were in that Cowboys game. They were in that game.
Yeah, this game. Complaints in the locker room after the game. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, kind of upset that, it's on the 2-yard line and they don't get one single opportunity to punch it in.
I can see why. They've been able to run, and the G's have been able to they've been giving that run up. They've been 8th in the league in pass defense, but you can run on the G's.
And you have A.J. Dillon for a reason.
And you don't have Leonard Williams there. So,
Not even one attempt.
I know, that was silly.
It also looks like, there was a clip of Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers talking before they went out to execute this game plan. And Aaron Rodgers said something to him, and LaFleur looked at him and said, "You want to run that?" Like, kind of surprised, like, that's what you want to do? Really?
Well, I mean, because if you think about it, who has the most experience on the field at that time? Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon, not Dobbs. You're not going to have Christian Watson out there right now. They're not going to let Tanya get open.
Lazard's not getting open at all.
Lazard's not, yeah. So, I mean, why not? I mean, thankfully they did it.
Cobb had a really good 13 targets or whatever. He had a really good game, but that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't.
Game.
Yeah, but Kerry, that shouldn't happen. That's not supposed to happen.
Because who's really accounting for Cobb at this point?
Well, what I'm saying is, though, you shouldn't need Randall Cobb to give you 13. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. He's fucking 40-something.
This is also true, because I actually thought he was going to go to Dobbs a lot more, and he didn't. And, that did us a favor.
Yeah, like I said, that's also interesting. We see him make a couple catches. Aaron's talking about how he's building rapport with him and whatnot, and then they just, don't really go to him. And I'm just like, who?
Because he has, I've seen him with the ball in his hands, and he's a problem in the open field.
Well, this is what
Randall Cobb is not anymore.
Well, this is what I was talking about when I was just like, I don't understand some of these coaches. They get something going, they have something that seems like it's working, and they just won't use that player this week. Oh, it's not in our game plan. Make it part of the fucking game plan. Mm-hmm. Whoever's supposed to be getting touches from receivers this week, put him in that position. Don't just isolate him and don't fucking use him. Oh, they saw what he can do. He's going to draw attention this week. Now, shut the fuck up. Get him the ball. You win by getting your best players the football. Let them do what they're the best at. It's so stupid. Aaron Rodgers should know better. He should know better. They should have ran at least once.
At least once.
You think Tom Brady's doing that? Honestly?
It's going to he would have ran somebody right up the middle.
James White is getting it right up the middle.
Yeah, right up the gut.
And Tom Brady might not even take the snap.
Rex Burkhead right up the gut.
That's what I'm saying. He might do that.
Snap.
He might do that horrible fake that he always did.
Yeah, quick snap bullshit. Yeah.
So this is and then Aaron Rodgers had that Russell Wilson fever where they give you the run play and whatnot, and you go up and you're who you are, and you change it to something you want, and it doesn't work. 3 pass plays. 3 of them. We'll get to another fucking offensive coordinator who did this same dumb shit.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to the Giants, though. They look like a legitimate football team.
Holy cow. And Saquon is looking chef's kiss.
Yeah, he's looking great. And
comeback player of the year, easily.
Well, coach of the year, comeback player of the year, all that.
He's looking, he is running for that contract. And he's also, he heard a lot of the talk, and he's a prideful dude. And he's like, oh, okay, I got something. And he means it.
Yeah, definitely. Bills absolutely destroyed the Steelers, which was to be expected. This is the best defensive football, and it's against Kenny Pickett. This is what we talked about earlier, Kerry, is could money-making Mitch survive through week 6, I think it was, to where the schedule kind of lightens up, because the first 2 games were going to be murderer's row.
It was going to be no. And I was like, yeah, no. I was like, Kenny's coming in like 5, like week 5. And I got one of my peoples is a big humongous Steelers fan. It was like, I got to pick them. There's Bills Steelers, but there's other games, right? I was like, you have to pick the Bills over the Steelers. Like, let's not be silly. You have to pick the Bills over the Steelers. That's just ridiculous if you don't, because that's a layup. A layup.
Yeah, absolute layup, especially given the conditions. No TJ Watt, which makes their defense completely different. Completely different. Mm-hmm. It would be what would happen to the Cowboys if Michael Parsons got hurt. Completely changes the landscape.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't matter if you double team that one, if you send a tight end or.
Then you could double team DeMarcus Lawrence all day.
It doesn't matter.
They don't have Randy Gregory anymore. Yeah.
TJ Watt and Michael Parsons are so good at football that nothing can stop them. This is like elite level, like Aaron Donald level. Like, you cannot be stopped. It doesn't matter. Michael Parsons is fun to watch, dude. He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Completely.
No.
Absolutely.
On the wrong team, but yeah.
So disruptive. Bills and Chiefs coming up this week, which is going to be fun.
Interesting.
It's going to be fun. Chargers and Browns. What the fuck are the Browns doing?
What the fuck is that stupid ass Chargers coach doing?
He always does dumb
shit.
shit. Yeah, all he does is dumb shit.
What in the hell is wrong with him? Seriously. Like, he wants somebody to come see him.
He said he trusted his gut, the analytics, and his offense. This is what I'm saying. They don't feel the game out. How things are going and how things at that moment in time are actually playing out. And they go off of analytics. Well, if your defense has stopped them like 4 times in a row, then you know, like, oh, no, we can fucking play defense right now. Fuck this shit. Like, you know, it's really stupid. It's so stupid.
And I hate stupid football. That was stupid football.
They got lucky that they were able to pull that one out.
They got lucky.
Because that
was stupid football.
They deserved to lose that game, which they always do. And, you know, that kick just, pew. Herbert, yeah, retarded.
Briskets, aside from the one mistake, whatever, he's game.
So that was the other thing. I
felt bad for him. I was like, he deserved to win that game.
Well, also, they lost football karma-wise earlier by having the best running back tandem in the NFL with one of the best offensive lines, and you get into the red zone and a chance to win this game, and you roll out with Jacoby Brissett and he throws a pick, which he rarely does. But
I know that was uncharacteristic.
But Kerry,
and I thought
that's also
even put that on him.
Yeah, that's uncharacteristic to put him in that scenario. That's why he doesn't throw those picks, because you don't put him in that scenario.
You made him Deshaun Watson in that moment. It's like, you don't got Deshaun yet.
Yeah,
you would do that for Deshaun. I understand that, not Jacoby.
Yeah, then, you know, the Browns got Browns. They were teased a victory and then just snatched right out of their hands. That's what you get for signing Deshaun to all that money. They're going to pay a lot of football karma.
Per usual, my man Chubb Rock got busy as hell.
Chubb getting busy. Amari Cooper's getting busy. He's playing well.
Cooper is getting busy. And Njoku's getting busy.
And Njoku is playing very well. He finally.
Brissett, they're not really recognizing how Brissett is like moving this offense, man. He's getting the rock to the open guys and to the money guys, to Amari Cooper, to Njoku when he has to, and then handing it to the stud.
Yeah, so shout out to the Chargers for actually pulling one out that they would typically lose.
Sure.
They usually, like for the last 30 years, would lose that football game. So shout out to them. The Browns 2-3 now. You know, we'll see where it heads for them until Deshaun gets back.
And they also signed Deion Jones. Well, they traded for him off of the Falcons. He's been injured, but as soon as he gets cleared, he'll be playing linebacker for the Browns. Interesting pickup. I mean, they've been decimated on defense, and he is a fast linebacker. He's got experience. He's been a baller since he's been in the league, so we'll see how that works.
All right, Vikings over the Bears. Somehow the Bears find a way to make the score look competitive as every week, but they are the least competitive team in football, it seems like. The Vikings, though, surprise 4-1, head coaching change, regime change, changes everything. They got a good head coach that everybody's into. The system is instantly successful. Justin Jefferson is putting up Cooper Cup numbers. And Kirk Cousins, he's not required to do anything more than just be Kirk Cousins. And he's definitely, is Kirk Cousins the new Matty Ice? Is he going to beat all the quarterbacks that he's better than?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's.
Has he reached that one now? All right, it makes sense because he's better than Justin Fields. He should beat that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
And also, the Vikings defense, they still have that air of they know how to get a turnover because they still have Harrison Smith who knows how to get turnovers. Dantzler made a terrific play. He just stripped that dude. He was like, nah, I want this rock more than you do in the game, and now game over. So Dantzler has that sort of talent. They got guys on defense who do. I mean, you still got Peterson who still wants to play corner, even though she switched to safety. But I mean, he's still making plays here and there. He would make more if he was at safety.
Well, Dalvin Cook is playing well. The run game's doing well. Madison's actually Irv Smith is contributing this year. Yeah, so they're healthy too. So that helps.
Danielle Hunter.
Yeah, they're one of the few teams that haven't been plagued by injury because everybody's getting hit right now. Mm-hmm. Saints over the Seahawks. Geno had a chance, man. He had a chance, God. But Taysom Hill had a game for the ages.
Yeah, you pick Seahawks. I went with the Saints because I was like, you're not gonna convince me that Geno can go into New Orleans and beat them there. Nah.
I just didn't think that Taysom Hill was going to have 3 touchdowns and 1 in the air.
Super Bowl numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been doing that this year.
Oh,
no Michael Thomas, no Chris Olave. Like, who the fuck is going? How? So they just put the ball in Taysom Hill's hands, and he beat the Seahawks by himself.
He sure enough did.
Geno put up 32 points though. Numbers. And he had a chance to tie the game going down in the end. And Geno'd. He's going to do what he does. I didn't know Taysom Hill was going to do that, man. I just thought
I was just like, I'm like, you can't convince me Geno's going to win in New Orleans.
Alvin Kamara's been in and out all.
Oh, and Alvin Kamara got busy.
Yeah, I know, but he's been in and out, and it's I actually trusted the Red Rifle to play better than Jameis has been playing this season. But I just, Geno, God. It's like every time I pick the Seahawks, they lose. And every time I don't, they win. So that's that team this year for me. Mm-hmm. It happens. It's Memphis in the college football pick'em. I get Memphis wrong every fucking week. Never fails.
I bet you picked Memphis against my squad.
No, nope. I picked Houston.
Okay, good job.
And Houston's the other one that gets me. The snake bit me a few times this year.
Well, we won. I know we dipped off. We dipped.
Yeah.
This year. Oof,
yeah. Dolphins and the Jets. This was to be expected with the Dolphins. That team is in an absolute free-for-all right now. Teddy gets hurt immediately, and then they have to go to their third string, Skylar, whatever his name is.
Skylar Thompson,
who didn't play terrible, but, the Jets with Zach Morris are a whole different football team.
Oh, yes, they are.
And now Breece Hall has been getting busy.
When Salah said we keeping receipts, that team, and then they clowned him for saying it, the Jets turned that bitch on. They were like, oh, yeah, watch this. And they've been getting busy. And I'll be honest, I got to give Zach Morris props. They kicked it up a whole nother notch since he's been back in the lineup.
Whole different team.
He's been finding he's been reading the field, making the right plays, and he's getting the rock to the playmakers. So, and then the defense, Sauce Money. Wish the Chiefs could have got him. Sauce Money.
Well, the Dolphins have nothing to offer right now without an actual quarterback. Yeah, you have these 2 track athletes, but this guy hasn't been working with these guys.
Right, sure. And Tyreek is hurt now, and Jaden Waddell has all been a little hurt too. But yeah, Sauce Gardner. The last few weeks he's been stepping his game up even higher.
This was another one that was an easy pick for me because just who are the Dolphins? Teddy Bridgewater cannot throw it far enough to actually utilize those 2 guys if they were healthy. So this was, and the Jets have been. It's a whole different team. You got Conklin playing well at the tight end spot.
You barely even see Uzama. You got Breece Hall and Michael Carter getting busy. The offensive line has actually stepped up. And Quentin Williams, that defense is playing. C.J. Mosley's been playing well.
No.
Salt's been playing well. Quentin Williams playing well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'd like to, whenever they play the Patriots, it's going to actually be an interesting game with the way these two teams are constructed at this moment. Really interesting. Falcons and Bucks. This was easy because the Bucks, Tom Brady never loses to the Falcons. I knew the Falcons were going to keep it close because they do this with every game this year.
They always do it, especially with the Bucks too.
Yeah, but just too much Leonard.
Like these games will either be a blowout or like super close.
Yeah, too much Leonard Fournette, too much Tom Brady, too much defense. Yeah. This was pretty. And Patterson's hurt, so they're down to their 2 and 3 running back.
Algier.
Which is another reason is why is Pitt's not being utilized, because now you don't even have Patterson.
Also, they converted a DB, Avery Williams, I believe his name is, 34. Avery Williams, DB to running back, and now he's working as their third string running back on the Falcons right now. And he actually got in the game, and they said that he may be like just more talented than the other two backs, Huntley and Algiers. So that'll be so they'll have like a converted receiver to running back and a converted DB now to running back. The Falcons, I don't know what they're doing, but they just got athletes, I guess. That's just how they is.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Bucks were up 21-0, and then the Falcons put up 15 in the fourth quarter to make it close, but it was not even close at all.
Sure.
Titans and Commanders. The Commanders just aren't any good. They're just not any good. Carson Wentz is not any good. Their defense is terrible. The Titans have Henry. If he's working, they don't really need anything else. Literally.
Shout out to Brian Robinson, though.
Yeah, getting back on the field so quick.
And then coming out to 50 Cent's Many Men. Many men. That was dope.
That's dope.
Yeah. Shout out. Other than that, I mean, really ain't nothing to shout. Logan Thomas is hurt at tight end. I mean, all this, like Curtis Samuel's looking real good. Terry McLaurin was looking real good. The rookie Johan Dotson was looking good. Now disappearing acts because Wentz is just, he's getting garbage stats.
Well, it's also garbage stats, but it's like the first couple weeks, the first game that they won, and then the first game that they lost to be 1-1, but they played well and put up big numbers. It was a different type of. I don't know what happened. It's like, all right, now all the running backs are back, so we're going to go back to what we wanted to do this year instead of what we were doing because we only had Gibson.
Gibson was doing well. I don't understand. They were so committed to sticking to whatever this plan was. They rocked the boat. So you affected the whole offense. When you had it with Gibson at running back, everything, you had Curtis Samuel doing what he does. You still got McKissick in there. Terry McLaurin was getting open. Tight ends were getting busy. I don't know why you changed that.
Curtis Samuel,
because you're stuck on what you want to do.
Curtis Samuel has gone to his average. He hasn't had a carry in the last 2 weeks. They're only throwing it to him because the running backs are all back instead of utilizing him like they do Deebo Samuel.
Sure.
And then his downfield target average distance is only 4.6 yards. Everything's under 5 yards with him, so they've shrunken the offense down, and it's really affected them.
Yeah.
Well,
because you're wasting him.
Yeah, and if you're going to have Carson Wentz, just run with it. He's going to give up 2, but he might give you 4. So
right.
There's no way to protect it because if you try to protect it, he's still going to give up 2. You're just not going to get the 4.
Right, because he's going to at least fumble. Even if you just want to hand it off 30 times, he's going to fumble 2 of them.
Yeah.
He's going to fumble.
Yeah. So they said something on the Pat McAfee show today that they think that Carson Wentz likes to play football. He just doesn't care if they lose. He likes football. He just doesn't really care.
I did hear a interview with him, and since he's had kids, especially, he's just I come home and I have my wife, I have my children, I that all that other stuff.
He's one of those guys.
He's one of those guys who could just it doesn't even matter. He cares. He's in with the guys. He's one of those guys who wishes he was more well liked and he feels like he's just misunderstood because he likes to play the game. It's just that these other cats really want this chip, and he's just like, I'll do all I can, but like I'll do whatever. And it's like, no, don't do whatever. Be smarter, so that you can help us win this game.
Yeah, he definitely looks like.
He goes home and he forgets about it.
Yeah,
he's like that Russell Westbrook. Like Russell Westbrook's like, whatever, okay. I go home. I don't care. I don't take that with me, even though I don't know how much I believe that. But at the same time, that's what he says, and he's like, "Oh, well, I could just leave it alone."
Yeah, see if you can say the word Westbrook in his face and see if he doesn't care.
Oh yeah, of course he does.
He gonna kill Skip one day.
Yo, these cats out here doing a lot of yip yapping. They gonna get Draymond.
Texans and Jags. The Texans get their first win of the year. This was bad football. The Jags looked good that 1 week. And then all of a sudden, they just don't look like the same team at all. I know the Eagles put it on them, but it was a really, really rainy day. And Trevor Lawrence literally said before the game he's never played with gloves. He's not going to do it. And he couldn't keep a hold of the ball. He had 5 fumbles. That's a lot. That's a lot of fucking fumbles. That shows you how wet it was.
Yeah, and you know.
But this game was ugly, dude.
There were just certain franchises that just play other franchises well. And I'm telling you, the Texans just always play the Jaguars well.
No, they didn't play them well. They just didn't play as bad.
They just beat them.
Dude, it was 6-6 going into the fourth quarter.
I mean, that's a terrible game. But they found a way to win, and that's what happened.
Yeah, Dameon Pierce. Let's give this guy the ball on this last drive and let him get busy, and maybe we'll win this game. And they did.
I love it. And I need Dameon Pierce to keep getting busy.
Yeah, me too.
Son.
Me too. I'm 4-1 in both of the leagues right now.
Oh yeah, I did get you in one of them.
I kind of forget about that one because Nice and Roger have not been active. And I was just like, fuck. So I went and made some moves today, but I completely forgot. It's the bye week coming up. You got to pay attention now. Bye weeks are a thing.
Yeah, bye weeks are a thing.
Pierce has got a bye week this week, so,
Us Texans are going to bye.
But, and also in the pick'em, everybody has
stepped up.
Now it's getting double-digit picks, which is usually what happens.
Yeah.
But
I had a nice little week.
But everybody caught up to each other, and I'm technically in first place in that one.
Yeah, no doubt.
But we caught Colton already.
We coming. Yeah, we coming.
Dude, I don't even remember what week that I finally caught him last year. It was like 10 or 11 or something. Yeah, it was so late. I was so far behind. I'm not worried about it. There are things, like the Jets pick and picking the Patriots. And just know there are things that are starting to play out. And then also knowing how injuries are going to affect each team because you have to know who this backup is. Are they any good? And will they actually use this person?
And also, sometimes it's just really dumb luck because the right call was to say that the Chargers were going to beat the Browns, but the Chargers almost Browns it, or they almost Chargers it, really, and could have lost that shit, but then, the Browns ended up bouncing it away.
Yeah, they
ultimately being right.
Yeah, it's funny because they both beat themselves. It's just the Browns beat themselves one more time.
They sure did. So it's crazy when the picks work out like that. Because also, in one league, I needed Devontae Adams to have that one more catch, and then I win by point whatever. Because he had such a good game, I came all the way back. I needed one more catch. I needed that catch. But with that catch, they're probably in field goal position to kick the winning field goal. So that means I get the pick wrong. Kansas City loses, but I win in the fantasy league. Catch didn't count. I get the pick right.
Yeah.
I lose in the fantasy.
This is why I hate fantasy football. I told you, this is why I hate this shit.
Shit.
You have to root against your own interest. It's stupid.
No, I was like, no, make the catch. I didn't miss the kick. They've been missing so many kicks.
Yeah, it's rare that he actually misses that catch, though, because he thought he had control of it. So that's why he only tapped real quick, he said. But if you watch it, he didn't have full control. His left foot was already up. Instead of drag, he should have just drug his foot anyway.
And then also, I think Renfro needed to sit out another couple weeks because I don't know what homie was trying to run.
Fuck it, we're talking about this right now. I don't care because it pissed me off. Yo, why in the fuck? I texted you. Josh Jacobs hits a career high. He is beasting on these guys, especially late.
Killing them.
Long runs, late. 30, 40 yards. Bodying them. You get within, like, all right, we can get within scoring distance and, possibly win this fucking football game. Mm-hmm. I know what we should do. Let's just throw it deep 3 times in a row. I was like, what are they doing? What are they doing? What are you doing? Are you that scared that if you leave even 3 seconds on the clock, that Patrick Mahomes is going to throw a 90-yard touchdown and you're going to lose?
And it's not even like you have all of your best pass catchers out because Waller was out most of the game. So you got Matt Collins, you got Devontae, who he only got targeted 2-3 times in the second half.
Yeah, their offense it befuddles me.
So, but Jacobs was getting busy. I mean, like, busy. This is like career busy. And confused me by not continuing to go with what worked.
Yeah, it was so interesting. That's why I had to hit you on this one. I'm like, this one makes no sense because not only did they, instead of even attempting to run the ball, which he was getting 30 and 40-yard chunks.
Even when he wasn't, it was still like 5. Here's another 9 for you. Here's 7. Here's 8. Like,
so
he was just gashing them.
Those passes that they chose were all like what you would consider a deep pass. This is beyond 15 yards down, beyond the line of scrimmage downfield. Just like what?
All contested.
What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Josh McDaniels, you are making stupid decisions.
Even when Adams caught that one, he caught it double coverage. When he did the Moss, he put his hands up, and it was like the ball was perfectly placed and it was a beautiful catch, but like still it was on 2 people. It was like hotly contested. It's not like he was just wide open.
Oh, he was. It's just Derek Carr didn't hit him when he was butt naked because as soon as he put his hand up, he had like 3 yards.
Yeah, he did, and he had to slow it down. Yeah.
Don't throw though. He was running forward when he threw that. It was a really good throw.
No, he did. All right, he put the biscuit in the basket. No question about that.
But
that's what I'm saying. That's what pisses us off.
That game planning.
Because he has these plays in him. He has this sort of talent in him. But then the other plays.
Yeah, all right, so Niners over Panthers. Yeah, this was easy. Matt Rule's gone, though, so do the Panthers have the rally game this week, Kerry?
I know. I always think about that, and I always pick against it, and then I'm always wrong. But then I'm like, okay, but who's the rally game against?
I forget. They shouldn't win because they're terrible.
And it's also P.J. Clark. Oh, no, that's a
P.J. Tucker.
P.J. Tucker. Oh, no, that's a basketball player. P.J. Walker. There it is.
That's a drink. That's a bourbon.
Right. So, all right, PJ, you going to get in there again? You'll represent, son. I mean, that's all I can say.
Yeah, watch him get busy, though, because that's how bad Baker Mayfield's actually been playing this year, which I hate.
Right.
I hate.
And CMC, for the most part, has been staying relatively healthy.
I hate the fact that Baker Mayfield and Carson Wentz play football like this. It's just like their persona, who they are as a person gets in the way of them playing good football.
Sure. It's
just like, you're not like Deshaun Watson and shit. Yeah. You're not even Big Ben in it.
Yeah.
It's just your own whoever you are just gets in the way of you being an effective quarterback. And it sucks.
True story.
Because Carson Wentz at one time was playing at an MVP level for the Eagles. They did win a Super Bowl, but he wasn't there for the home stretch of it, but he did get them to the door though because he was playing excellence.
He got them mighty close, and then Nicky Foles.
But
at High Street.
Yeah,
you're right. I mean, and it's like it's a waste of another really good talent at receiver, DJ Moore. Like,
who's not being utilized. Robbie Anderson doesn't
waste
exist.
time, right? Waste.
Like, and this is another
whole receiver core is a waste.
Kerry, you're wasting a year of Christian McCaffrey actually being healthy, which is rare as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's just like
you actually have some playmakers on that defensive side.
So what you do with Christian McCaffrey now is because he does have a healthy year of tape and whatnot, it's rebuild time. You get what you can get out of him.
Yeah, you trade. Yeah, well, I was figuring that they probably would trade Moore. But yeah, I would trade McCaffrey. You're right, over Moore. I would see what I can get out of McCaffrey first, especially now that he's healthy.
That's why I texted you. I was just like, yo, McCaffrey could like be traded because if they get rid of Rule and the defensive coordinator, they're just going to go in full rebuild mode. He's the only player that you can get a lot for. Who could use him? Well, the Niners.
Yet another. Well, I mean, him and Deebo Samuel on the same team is crazy, though. Let's just say it.
With Kittle?
Crazy. Oh, my God, that's crazy. Yo, him and Deebo.
Shanahan would be very creative with that scenario, too.
Ultimate. How you have two of the best Swiss Army knives in the league? That's amazing.
Yeah, and if you could find a way to utilize them, which I think Shanahan could, and Jimmy G,
you would have a stupid offense.
Yeah, Jimmy G, you wouldn't be expecting him to do anything too far downfield because you're using these two chess pieces close around the field. A lot of handoffs, jet sweeps.
Stupid offense.
Yeah, so much fun to watch, too.
Stupid. Yeah, but you need Trent Williams back. They got to get Trent Williams back. But your offense would be stupid.
This was, we'll see what the Panthers do. It's hard to tell, like, yeah, the Niners are starting to look good, but they also just played the Panthers in the death throes of Matt Rule. So,
well, the Ravens went after CMC.
Nah, they're starting to use Duvernay like that. That kid he got busy all over the field. They put him in the backfield as a
because he's a returner.
Yeah, well, not even just like they were handing the ball off and he was running through off tackle plays. I was just like,
he's dope.
They're really utilizing this kid right now.
See, they're using him. Okay, yeah. How they should have used Austin.
Exactly. So, how much time we got? 3 minutes left on this one. We're not going to get through all these. Cowboys and Rams. I switched it. I just didn't hit. I've done this before. I forget that on like the NFL thing, it's auto save, and on the Yahoo one, you have to hit save. I forget. Yeah. So. To be expected. I'm all aboard the Cooper Rush train because they're just playing football with him, and I like it. They're running the ball effectively.
Simple. They're not getting in their fucking own way.
And they have Micah Parsons.
Defense, run the rock, don't turn it over. That's it. And you got one of the best defensive players in the game.
No, you have the best defensive player in the game. He's the best defensive player in football.
Aaron Donald, like him and Aaron. Yes.
Yes, but at this point, Aaron Donald, the Rams are not good enough for Aaron Donald. He can't do everything. Like, he can't. They'll just quadruple team him. Like, they got nothing else going right now.
Right. Yes.
You know, like, literally.
Mike is the most disruptive player.
Easily, he is the most disruptive. Like, it's. And I hate saying this because I hate his uniform. I hate that star on the side of their head. I hate all that shit, but. Oh, wow, is he impressive.
Should have been a Giant.
He's so impressive.
He is.
It's literally LT reborn. I'm just like, it
hurts. Giants blue.
All right, I'm going to hit you. See you in 30 seconds. We'll continue this talk about how Micah Parsons is not on the Giants. You know, every once in a while, there's a football player that's coming out of college that every single team is just like, can we have that guy? And Micah Parsons was one of those. Every single team would have taken him if given the opportunity. Unless they did some dumb shit. Because The legend of Micah Parsons goes that from the moment he stepped on a football field, he was the best player on the field by a mile. Like, as a freshman in high school, he got on the football field and was better than everyone at like 15 years old. And he's been like that since then. And you can see it on the field. That dude is a motherfucking stud. Vegas, what up, homie? I'm waiting for my esteemed co-host to pop his head back in so we can do our last segment of Gray Matter for the week. Yo, Vegas, I hit 13 out of a 15 leg parlay. It was like literally inches away from hitting a $35,000 parlay this week. It was very disappointing, to say the least. Football is literally a game of inches even when you bet on it. You know, Zeke eats meat again, so he's like a solid running back. He's not vegan anymore. That worked out for him. Tony Pollard's gotten better over the last couple of years. He keeps getting better.
So quick. So quick.
Yeah, great change of pace for them, you know. And then CeeDee Lamb's not dropping every pass that's thrown his way right now. That's good.
Not every single one. He still has some big drops, but then he'll make big plays.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're just playing solid.
And they got Michael Gallup back, who is a difference maker.
Yeah, they're just playing solid football, and the Rams don't have anybody healthy.
And they got that returner. That's
Turpin.
Oh, my God. That guy's good.
Yeah, figure out a way to get him in the game, guys. Eagles and Cardinals. The Cardinals found a way to blow this late.
Yep.
The Eagles find a way to win.
Yeah.
Which, you know, for really good football teams, you're going to have one of these.
That's what they do. And also, Jalen Hurts said, let's not disrespect the Cardinals. That team over there and that other quarterback is good. And you know what? This game is a game about matchups. Also, it's like boxing. It's a game of matchups. And they just match up well in certain areas. And, Kyler's a tough dude to get down. Sometimes he'll just find lanes and so he'll get in his groove and he'll just make plays and he'll just like wear a defense out.
Well, Rondale Moore was back for the first time this season. That helps.
Also that definitely helped. Of course it did.
That helped. The Eagles, I don't know, man. I was watching this game. I don't know who the starting corner, like the number one corner for the Cardinals is. But all season long, whoever is going up against them, that number one receiver has not had a very good game. And I've followed this trend. I don't know who it is, but whoever's their number one is pretty fucking good. Okay. A.J. Brown this week did absolutely nothing. And this has been happening for a few weeks because I've been betting against their defense, and it hasn't been working out. I've noticed this trend.
They got Bunting.
I don't know who it is. I haven't really watched any of their games.
They got Bunting from the Bucks. You know that, right?
But
I don't know. Maybe it's him.
It might be, and if it is, he is having a Pro Bowl level year that nobody's talking about because this is a couple weeks in a row why a stud receiver's gone up against the Cardinals and done absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. Don't they have what's the Simmons kid at safety?
Isaiah?
Yeah.
He plays like elephant. He plays like linebacker.
Yeah, I think that helps. I think that they, if there's...
And he's actually been, playing better.
That's what I'm saying. I think that helps because if you use him to shade towards whoever the number one is, go ahead and throw it to him. He's going to kill him.
Right.
But A.J. Brown will take that beating, and he didn't really do anything.
Right.
Which means they just try to force it to Devontae Smith, and...
Well, Goddard made a couple plays.
He made a couple plays, and it was just all on Jalen Hurts. Like I said,
it was.
A bad football team loses this type.
Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders.
Yeah, fuck Miles Sanders not getting in the end zone. But a bad football team loses this game to the Cardinals. but a really good football team does it. So the Eagles and Cowboys coming up next week is going to be fucking awesome.
Like Vegas lost that game to the Cardinals.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you're supposed to beat this Cardinals team. Nuke's not there yet. When he gets there, that's going to change everything. Bengals and Ravens. This was a little bit surprising, but it shouldn't have been because the Bengals offensive line is absolute and total fucking trash. 5 new starters, they all suck. They all suck. T. Higgins gets hurt.
They spilled so much money, and T. Higgins got hurt. My guy got hurt.
Yeah, I know, and that, you know, that contributed to me putting out a sub 100-point performance this week because it's just like, all right, T, you're supposed to put up like 20-something because you always do because everybody focuses so much on Chase that they forget about you. And it was just Justin Tucker is, you know, they say the best kicker of all time. It's hard for me not to say Vinatieri, is it?
I mean, well, you could say in bigger games, most clutch for Vinatieri, but like straight up,
yes.
Like regular, like Tucker's that dude.
Dude, 59-yard game winners and shit like it's nothing.
Yeah. Yo, he hits 50-yarders like water.
Yeah, it's really impressive. That is a team and a scenario where a kicker can actually win you football games, and he's going to, and he does.
And he did it. And he's like,
well, you know, if you're in a close game and you've got him, just get it to where he somewhere within 60-some yards, and he'll get it.
And you know what? And that has become so when the Browns became the Ravens, and then the Browns renewed again. But then, so now you just have the Ravens. Like the Ravens history, in Ravens history, they always had ill defense and ill kicking game because Matt Stover won them how many games and helped them propel them into a Super Bowl, right? And so like they had this rich history of the kicking game, and so they've had like some of the best kickers of all time, and you can't tell me that that their kicker right now, Tucker's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No, everybody, like the respect that he gets football wide.
Yeah.
Is everybody's just like, this is the best kicker ever.
Tell me it's not. Yeah.
This is like the Steph Curry of kickers.
Sure.
Oh shit, finished talking about the Chiefs and Raiders. The only other note was Travis Kelce, 4 fucking touchdowns, 25 yards, 4 touchdowns. Are you kidding me?
Amazing.
Could somebody put some hands on him at the snap of the ball, please? Free release all day, just to do what he wants.
Wide open.
I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, they're literally not even attempting to. It's not like he's making a move. They're just letting him get a free release and trying to double him. And
I knew. So this is what I knew. I knew when he got 2, they were gonna go for 3. I knew when they got 3, they were gonna go for 4. I knew it.
Guaranteed. Why not?
Yeah. Because it's just you now. You're like, you my man's. Like, you my man's. Like Tyreek is gone. You my man.
Well, not only that, like, everybody on the team's going to be like, yo, let's see if we can get 4. Like, let's see if we can get him 4. Why not?
Hell yeah.
So, but just Kerry, like, you can't double a player that doesn't have routes. You can't anticipate what he's going to do. You have to get your hands on him and fuck up the timing.
They just did not do that.
The Bucs are literally the only team that's ever figured out how to dominate that offense, and it's disrupt Kelce's releases as much as possible and then get pressure on Patrick Mahomes to where you can actually get to him.
Now, there's 3 things that I found interesting in that game. Even though Clyde's Edwards-Helaire got more touches than McKinnon's touches were more significant.
Yes.
He was gashing them cats, especially in the second half. And he was catching out the backfield. He made, like when he had, like, that 30-yard rush, like, when he was just carrying dudes, and it was crazy. So like, he's, like, really, like, giving them that energy in the run game. So I could see him snatch some yards. And also what I saw there was some plays where Scandless was getting open. Like, he was his routes were nice and crispy, and he was getting open. They were quick. It was quick decisions, and they got him to him quick. And then I started to see the rapport between Mahomes and Juju. And he was hitting Juju in critical moments.
Yeah, so what the Chiefs offense right now, minus Tyreek Hill, what they formed into is the Packers offense that Aaron Rodgers used to run, essentially. So Devontae is Travis Kelce. That's the guy who's going to score everything and be the most critical. And then they just have guys who each do one thing. Like Scantling's literally an Aaron Rodgers guy. That's like seam guy.
Who does the Scantling thing.
Does the Scantling thing, which we all know.
Scantling for him, yeah.
You know, but now Juju being the short yardage.
Lazard.
He's the Lazard.
Yeah.
You know, and
he also blocks very well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks. I'm literally watching it. I'm like, this looks like Aaron Rodgers' offense because Devontae literally was such a focus, and so is Travis Kelce. It's like if we get down to the end zone, this guy's getting the ball.
But remember, this is why I wasn't as worried as a lot of other people that Tyreek was leaving. I was like, Scantling's fast, and this is going to actually benefit Mahomes because his QBR is going to go up.
Well, not just that. It's just
they're still going to be successful because also look who's the head coach. Look who's calling the plays. Arguably one of the best play callers of all time. You don't think he's going to figure out a way how to use these new players? Come on,
well,
man,
Kerry, if you're that young and you have that arm, and then you have that guy, you're going to do it. You're going to. It's just as he matured, they would have played football more and things of that nature. But
you have in like look at what this offense had. This offense had something the league had never seen before. So you have a guy at the quarterback position was already being touted, maybe the best to ever do it. Like we've seen most amazing things, and also this receiver, who's the fastest receiver that we've ever seen. And so you have these two. I don't even like to call them unicorns, like whatever, leprechauns, whatever. These two anomalies that we've never seen, both playing on the same offense. Of course, when they separate, you think, well, there'll only be one Tyreek Hill to go on a team, so they'll have that. But you still have this quarterback. He'll figure it out. He's still going to be amazing. And then Tyreek will be amazing wherever he's at. But they'll still be dope without each other. It's just that with each other, that's the best you'll ever see it.
Tyreek should have went to Baltimore.
Oh, my God. That would have been amazing.
Yeah. Because the defenses have to respect Lamar so much.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
Or they're going to be running with Tyreek and allow lanes to open up for Lamar.
And then Lamar would have 2,000 yards rushing.
Just stupid, dude. He made a mistake going to Miami. He should have went to Baltimore.
Lamar would have been the first quarterback to have 3,000 yards passing and 2,000 yards rushing. And it would have been the most amazing season that we've ever seen anyone ever play.
Account for 75 total touchdowns. It would have been.
It was shit of all time.
And then you have fucking Andrews patrolling the underneath once Tyreek is just not even fair.
Get it?
Not even fair.
They would have broke all the records.
Yeah, easily.
It wouldn't even matter who's running back.
Nope, not at all. I would actually just put in an extra lineman and made him wear number 25 or something and put him in. Just block when they, whatever. So this week coming up, shit game for Thursday. This sucks. Commanders at Chicago.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just like.
Well, I guess that's the River. It's the Rivera Bowl since he played for Chicago and now he coaches Washington.
Yeah, but how does the locker room and starting quarterback now handle your head coach being like, "Yeah, our quarterback sucks, dude"?
Well.
Because Kerry, you know the people in the locker room, especially the defense. It's like, yo, this motherfucker over here. If you throw one more goddamn pick when it counts.
Yo, I'll be honest with you. That defense really rocks with Heineke. I think they really want Heineke in the game anyway. And like Wentz is the type of dude that they don't like his teammates really don't rock with him. Because he really doesn't rock with them.
That's what I'm saying. He
goes home to his family. He's a family guy.
Yeah, Baker does the same thing. He hangs out with his wife and he does commercials.
Right. He does. So they don't really rock with him. Like, they don't really go to war with him like that. So, right. So they, like, Heineke really, they rock with him.
I bet you Baker watched Top Gun and just saw himself as Maverick.
Maverick, of course.
Of course, the
he
whole
did.
time. Bought a bomber jacket afterwards.
Listen, I've been to where he was tackled right on Dixon Street in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I've been there.
Yeah,
Seen this-
I don't even know who to pick in this game.
It's this is a tough one. I'll say this. I will say Justin Fields is trying really, really hard. And now that they got Montgomery back, and so they got Montgomery and they got Herbert.
Well, Mooney's
I
kind
wanna
of shown up
know-
the last 2 weeks, too.
I want to know if they're going to use these guys better, like really use if they use both the running backs and get Mooney and Fields involved. I think they got really a good shot because
Well, they could beat this team.
the Commanders are shell-shocked.
So if Carson Wentz is ever going to have a good football game this season, it's going to be this one after his quarterback called him out.
It has to be. He's the type I think who could block that out, but also he still wins, and so he's going to wince it at some point. And you still got Eddie Jackson, you got Roquan Smith, you still got playmakers on that Chicago defense.
I want to see what the weather's going to be like. If it's bad
Got
weather,
Robert Quinn.
yeah, if it's bad weather, the Commanders are definitely losing that game. San Francisco at Atlanta. San Francisco's going to beat Atlanta, but Atlanta will be competitive because they have been competitive in every fucking game for some fucking reason. Even when they don't have nobody playing. But I don't think they will be actually in this one because San Francisco defense is for real, and Atlanta doesn't have any. If Drake London, if Pitts is out again and Patterson's out, who the fuck you?
Yeah, but also San Francisco's defense is for real hurt.
Well,
I mean, Mosley tore his ACL.
yeah, everybody's hurt.
Bosa's, who knows what's going to happen with him. So
San Francisco's still going to win this game.
And also Atlanta has a DB as their third running back now, so he's going to get like 100 yards at some point in time this season. Avery Williams.
Doesn't matter. Jimmy G and the San Francisco 49ers win football games. They're in the business of winning football games at a very high clip, especially against teams that they're supposed to beat.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk gets busy this week.
New England at Cleveland. You know who I'm rocking with. It's Zappy time.
Zappy hour.
Hey, it's Zappy hour, yo. And listen, they have a formula for winning football games with this roster.
They do.
That
we don't know who's calling plays still, but they got a formula.
And the defense has started to form itself.
Matthew Judon's coming along.
And Bill Belichick.
One of the DBs is coming along, too.
Kyle Duggar is getting busy.
That's who it is. Yeah.
And Bill Belichick will try to eliminate Chubb Rock as much as he possibly can and make Briskets beat him.
You also got Jamie Collins Sr., who played for both franchises multiple times, so he knows all the plays.
Well, not only that, you also have a Patriots secondary that is acting like a typical Patriots secondary does as a total and playing very well as a total unit. So they will do well in eliminating Cooper, his impact. So it's,
and their old quarterback, Briskets.
That's what I'm saying. So it's basically they're going to force Briskets to beat them in some manner. I mean, Chubb is still going to Chubb. He's the best running back in football.
Love that guy.
Yeah, although he's still got to work on his hands out of the backfield. Briskets hit him with a beautiful wheel route up this, and he bonk, wide open, walk-in touchdown.
Hunt would have caught that.
Exactly.
I hate that.
Exactly. Yeah, I hate it too because Chubb Rock's on my fantasy team. We need them catches. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Pats on this one. It'll be interesting to see what the spread is. The Jets at Green Bay. This is interesting because Green Bay's not playing very good football.
They are not.
And the Jets are.
They are. And you had Jair Alexander say, I ain't panicking yet, but if we lose next week to the Jets, now he may not have been shading the Jets, but it's very easy to interpret that he was shading the Jets because he said if we were to lose to the Jets, then I would be in panic mode.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. You don't want to bet against Aaron Rodgers ever, especially in Green Bay, but the Jets are playing excellent football right now, and the pundit in me wants to take the Jets on this one. if I do a pick right now, I would take the Jets.
I just know a team in green. Yeah.
Where's Nice at? The Jets are winning, and we haven't heard from him. This may never happen again in gray matter history. We shall see. I'm telling you, that's a whole different team with Zach Wilson. Even the demeanor and the attitude. The old man's not telling everybody to slow down and get off his grass.
Listen, I feel like he has like some sort of power, like a cougar power.
Yeah, well,
like a deep cougar power.
Well, I told you when that story broke, I was like, yo, that locker room is going to love him so much now. They're going to be like, he's the motherfucking man, yo.
Listen, he was like, it's not only my school mascot.
It's a way of life.
It's a way of life. Cougar power.
Cougs. Is that why you went there? Cougs for life.
Listen, I am Cougs for life, baby. On everything.
Yo, R.I.P. to Jessica Lansbury.
Oh yeah, she was like 2 million years old. She
98.
The most wonderful life. Come on now, she like crushed it Broadway. Murder she wrote. Look, like she did a lot.
Every white geriatric American for a 30 to 40 year span watched Murder, She Wrote.
And you know she had apple pie in her repertoire.
It's probably on her tombstone, her recipe. Finally giving it back to the world. Jacksonville at Indy. I'm going to go with the Colts because these are two teams that are also going in different directions, and I figured they would split. They got humiliated in Jacksonville. Jonathan Taylor's back this week, so are they actually going to utilize this guy and, like, kick their offense in the ass?
So, wait, where they playing?
Indy. Ooh. That's what I'm saying. Like, I figured they're going to split. I don't think Jacksonville, and plus Jacksonville's played really poorly the last 2 weeks.
Is Shaquille O'Neal, what's his name now? I don't even know.
Shaquille Leonard, yeah, he got...
Is he going to play this year?
Well, he got a concussion and broke his nose in the first. The helmet came down and broke his nose.
Jeez.
That's a difference maker for them. When he's not in there, their defense isn't any good.
Saying. Like, and so Quiddy Pay's banged up, Buckner's banged up. So I gotta hold off on that one. I don't know.
I mean, the football in me wants to say that the Indy should win this game based on the last couple weeks because, yeah, the Colts have played terrible, but you know they also found a way to win.
Right.
And it doesn't really matter in the NFL. It's just you got to get wins.
Right.
So, and that division's fucking weak. So they could actually still pull this out in their division and still make the playoffs somehow.
Good. They could.
You know.
They could rake it right in.
Yeah, exactly. Minnesota at Miami. Yeah, this Vikings. This is an easy one because the Vikings are humming right now, and Miami is going to be starting a third-string quarterback.
Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, that guy.
Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, him. They're going to be starting that guy. It may be in Miami, but it does not matter because Minnesota is playing as a whole different team from the last 5, or however long that period was. 7, 8 years.
So, like, Mostert should get 25 carries.
Oh,
at least 35 touches.
Oh, yeah. How many do you need?
I need all.
Of course you do. Fuck fantasy football. Cincinnati at New Orleans. See, this is interesting because Cincinnati's just not playing well. Like
That's an understatement.
They'll get it. They've got a couple W's, but last week got literally physically smacked by the Ravens. So New Orleans
should have won that. Still should have won.
Exactly. They still. If T. Higgins is playing, whole different game.
Sure.
You know.
But that's how you know that they're off. Like because good teams win that game.
Yeah.
And win that shit.
I want to pick New Orleans in this one because it's in New Orleans. It's tough to win there. They look like they're just finding ways to win right now.
And I don't even know who the quarterback is anymore. Like, I don't know if Famous James is coming back. I don't know if Red Rocket's there. And then
Taysom Hill's playing tight end, running back, quarterback.
I found my thrill on Taysom Hill. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea, but it's tough to win in New Orleans, and Cincinnati's not playing very well. I'm guessing that the public will be on Cincinnati's side on this one, which usually means the public will be wrong.
Who they say?
It's the Who
Dey Nation.
It's the Who Dey game.
It's the Who Dey. Yeah. It's the Who Dat versus the Who Dey.
Yeah. Wow. That game's gonna suck. If Jamar Chase doesn't have 275 yards, they don't stand a chance. He's just not been a factor this season.
No.
At all.
This sophomore slump, son.
Yeah, and I watched the early in this game. I was waiting for other games to actually get started and whatnot, and they were trying to force it to him early, a bunch of like bubble screens and whatnot, and he just wasn't doing anything.
But he's also really frustrated. So when you're frustrated at receiver, you end up running your routes frustrated. So therefore, you're not going to be running in the crispiest of routes, and you're not going to really be thinking this whole thing through because you're going to be missing opportunities for tendencies to see how you could set up your opponents later. So you may run 2-3 route combination in a row in the first quarter so that in the third quarter you can set them up for the same route combination but to break it off a different way so that you're wide open. So if he has to think like that, he has to start thinking like, I'm setting this up so that I have a big play 2 quarters from now, and that's going to be the difference in the game. And then I can do whatever I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's how you have to do it. You just got to like calm your brain, like keep setting up your opponent.
Now he's got the youth of.
Play chess.
He's got the youth of I can dominate. So give me the ball, let me dominate. Let's blow these cats out.
Right, give me the rock. Just keep giving me the rock. He wants that barbecue chicken ball, and this,
Yo, so how about the Giants having the best 1:00 game of the week next week? Baltimore at New Jersey Giants.
Yo, calm down.
Oh, so we can watch the game without having to cross the river and go to a different state? You want to go?
All I'm saying is you can on TV. You know what I mean?
We don't have to physically go to another state to watch them play in person?
No, not if you watch on TV. No, you don't. Not at all. As a matter of fact. We got New York Giants all the way and forever.
No, you guys should be the New York team. The Jets should have gone to New Jersey a long time ago.
Well, it's Long Island, so it's just like Jersey.
Pretty much. Yeah, Baltimore at New York. I'm actually going to go with the Giants on this one because Baltimore's defense is terrible, and the Giants' defense is not terrible. So they will. Lamar Jackson has had a couple games this year where he's been limited to like 160 to 170 yards passing and only like 30 yards rushing. So they have found ways to kind of limit his impact on taking over a game, but Andrews is still going to get 2 touchdowns no matter what.
I will say this, and this is my only slant on the whole thing. Wink Martindale used to be the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. Wink Martindale is now the defensive coordinator for the New York G's. So he might know a little something.
Well, their defense is terrible anyway, so.
So, I don't know.
No, I'm going with the G-Men anyway, and I know you are too. Tampa at Pittsburgh. Do we even have to talk about this? This is not fair to Kenny Pickett to have to go up against his defense.
Not, because I really like that kid, and he is going to be somebody.
Yeah, this isn't fair to do this. This is how poorly that Mason, or not, I almost called him Money Making Mitch was playing, that they had to force their hand.
Mitsubishi Mitch. Listen, it's going to be Pickett to Pickens. Like, Pickett to Pickens is going to be a thing in Pittsburgh. Oh, it's going to be PPP. Do you got that PPP?
I could see them getting rid of Claypool next season, though.
They could, because if you have Deontay Johnson and you have
Pickens,
and then I think they have another.
You could find somebody else, though, because Claypool's, if you Pickens and Burgess, then Claypool kind of goes down to the 3, and that's not really what he does.
Right. Yeah, he's not really serving your offense at that point. Unless he's just a Lazard, which is kind of like what he is right now.
Yeah, I mean, you could see him go to, like, Tampa, because Tom could use him in the red zone. He would know how to use him.
Or, yeah. And he could be, like, he could be a Mike Evans protege.
Well, because you know that Tom's playing until he's 50 now that he's getting divorced, so he'll be around a couple more years. Carolina at the Chargers. I mean, the Rams. See, this is the game I told you. The Rams are battered and bruised.
J. Williams.
Like battered and bruised Rams, right? And
On your radio dial.
the Panthers are not the worst defense in football.
They are not.
So now that Matt's rule has ended, do they have that bounce that we just lost a terrible coach bounce back game and then suck the rest of the year?
Who is the interim?
Well, it's not the D coordinator. He got fired too. So.
Well, he needed to because there was terrible situations happening.
Well, him and Matt Rule have been together since Baylor.
Oh, okay, yeah, they needed to break that. Baylor situations don't tend to go well. You can Google that.
I don't know who the interim's going to be.
So they also need someone to coordinate the D.
Ron Rivera should just resign from the Commanders from that mess and go back to Carolina.
Oh, and he would crush it.
Yeah.
He would find a way to crush it. And then like, just take Kyle Allen. Hey, Kyle, come with me.
No, watch him take Carson with him, and Carson to get to hunt in the Carolinas and have a career resurgence because.
Oh, that might be amazing because he's from the Dakotas.
Yeah.
So that might really actually light his ass up.
Yeah, he just doesn't care about football, dude. You could tell. It's not a big deal to him.
No, it's about raising family. He wants to, like, he has his own well. That's what he wants.
It's almost like Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, well, Phillip.
No, just because he was feisty, I feel like whenever he went home, he never talked about his job.
Yeah, no, because it was just pumping his wife full of baby. He had no time to talk.
Arizona at Seattle, the pre-nuke game, so I'm going to go with Seattle because I can't. Geno's going to Geno. It's in Seattle though. That is a thing. It's loud there.
It's in Seattle.
But Arizona's playing really well on the road this year. It's at home that they're struggling.
They did last year too. Yeah.
So I don't know. This is going to be a weird one. I'm going to have to see how things play out.
Salt the gods on this.
Yeah, Buffalo at Kansas City, game of the week, obviously. For the AFC crowd anyway, game of the week.
Whose chicken is better, KC or Buffalo?
Yeah, this is interesting because it's in Kansas City, but Buffalo has won there before.
Also, Gabe Davis is busy.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Buffalo because, the secondary.
That's huge.
Yeah, the secondary has kind of like patched over the loss because now the other guys who were like hurt for like a week are back in the rotation and whatnot. And yeah, I'm going to go with Buffalo on this one because they are literally the best pass defense and have limited their opponents' tight ends to the lowest output fantasy-wise all season of anybody. And Kelsey's going to Kelsey, but like Buffalo's so good everywhere. So yeah, I want to say Buffalo, but Kansas City will probably win because that's what kind of year it is. Then the game of the week for the NFC crowd. Cowboys and Eagles. This is going to be a good football game.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. This one. This is going to be some shit right here.
If Cooper Rush,
this is one of the games I just wish that the whole stadium blows up.
If Cooper Rush wins this game, he should start the rest of the year.
Sure. And I'll tell you why. Because football wise, and this is just what happens, because Dak is a more skilled quarterback, let's say, right? Then Dallas will start to deviate and try to do more because Dak is in the game instead of sticking with what has been fucking working right now.
Yeah.
They're keeping that shit nice and simple, running that rock, two-headed beast, and Ezekiel's looking really effective, and they other running back is crushing.
Yeah, dude, this is what I don't understand. It's just like we've talked about this.
And then you got your defense. You have a defense and you have a special team. You have a return, like a legit return game. How many teams in the NFL have a legit return game? Not many.
So
Dallas does.
The matchup,
like a scary return game.
The real matchup is everybody's going to look at Diggs and A.J. Brown, but the real matchup is going to be Micah Parsons into Jalen Hurts, and what can Jalen Hurts do to escape? Because this is a very, very, very strong quarterback.
But also, Micah is a very, very quick, instinctive, fast, mean, athletic,
So that's where the game's going.
Talent.
Yeah, that's where the game's going to be won to me. Is if Micah Parsons can get home and
if he can wreck,
then it's a game over. But if Jalen Hurts can escape that and then make something happen, then Eagles get it.
See, also now I'm also thinking about the Eagles secondary against Dallas's receivers and Cooper Rush. Cooper has not turned the rock over.
He also hasn't played these two guys.
Right. And Philly knows how to turn you over. And, Philly front four is thick. Even with Derek Barnett being out for the year. So are they going to try to rely on this run game? Or,
Well, I hate Dallas, so I'm running with the Eagles.
Who's going to cover CeeDee Lamb? Do you think it's going to be Slay? Or it's going to be Bradbury? Bradbury can cover CD.
Both of them
Slay
can
cover, but they both can. So it's like, okay, so.
Well, then you don't have to have somebody. Somebody doesn't have to chase him if you don't want to.
That's what I'm saying. You can wash out. You can wash out the receivers on Dallas, and now now it's like the run game. You try to put the run game, but Philly's front seven is thick. So.
Yeah, and we hate Dallas. Monday Night Football, Denver at the Chargers. Denver sucks. Do we even have to go over this game? No, we're not even going to talk about this. They fucking suck. They are the worst team in football because the Texans just won. So we'll run over the standings real quick. We only got a couple minutes before this show is over. The Jets, a surprising surge into 3-2 in the second place in the AFC East. That is surprising because they're also in a wild card spot right now. I mean, it's early, but there's a lot of 2 and 3 teams in the AFC race right now. The Ravens, somehow, I mean, they don't look really good. Like Lamar looks good, but they don't look good as a team. And the rest of the division really sucks right now. Cincinnati started off really slow. The Browns are trying to survive somehow. AFC.
Everyone is in turmoil in that division.
AFC South, what we thought was going to happen is actually taking place. The Titans are 3-2 somehow and in first place because they that Matt Vrabel everything. AFC West, the Raiders have got to be the biggest disappointment in football by far. The Chiefs and Chargers are going at it right now, 4-1 and 3-2. Makes sense, but the Raiders fucking suck, dude.
Yeah, like you had more you had higher hopes for
the
head coach.
The NFC East and home of the Giants, 5-0, 4-1, 4-1. The NFC East is back to its old guard of what we know growing up, where it was a murderer's row of 3 teams, and you never knew which team was going to make the playoffs. And even when they sucked, you never knew which team was going to make the playoffs. It was going to be one of those bums.
Right.
But the Eagles,
and we might get you.
Yeah, but as we predicted, the Eagles are at the top of the division this year, but the Giants are the big surprise. Shout out to Daboll. NFC North, the Vikings at 4-1 is a big surprise. The rest of the teams sucking, including the Lions being this bad, I guess not to be expected, really, but to be expected. We knew the Bears weren't going to be any good. The Packers will figure it out. They'll figure it out. NFC South, the Bucs are going to run away with that division. The rest of those 3 teams suck, dude. The Panthers, Falcons, and Saints, not any good. NFC West, the Niners are poised to run away with this because the Rams, I think, are just not going to be healthy enough and to field enough effective football players to win games.
And Stafford, I told you I was worried about Stafford's arm, and he's just so off.
He's off, and you can't
really off.
You can't give.
And when you refuse to throw to your whole other receiver, like who's actually a good football player, that's a broken offense.
Well, I mean, like we said when it happened, the Niners' biggest gift of all was Trey Lance getting hurt because now you can just operate as was when you went to the Super Bowl and an NFC Championship the last 2 years with Jimmy G at the helm. He already knows the offense. The locker room loves him.
Absolutely.
So he's just going to do what Jimmy G does. They'll probably win this division and be in the playoffs and then lose somewhere before the NFC Championship because,
Calzone macaroni.
you know, a better quarterback named Tom Brady's going to beat him. And it actually probably might be the Vikings this year, which would be fucking hilarious.
That would be funny as fuck.
So I'll see you next week, homie. Yeah, Cowboys and Eagles. That's going to be a good one.
No doubt.
All right, everybody. I'm going to go hang out with the Wolf. I appreciate Flea. You already know Vegas. Appreciate you guys listening to me and Kerry talk about football because, as I always say, we would do this by ourselves on the phone, but we chose to do it on YouTube because it is way more funnier this way. So I will see you guys. I don't know when. I'm readjusting my YouTube schedule and whatnot, and I'm going to see where I'm going to take all of this as we all get locked inside for the winter. So we shall see.